And actually, the training of the patience is one of the best course for a person when he gets enlightened to have a very agreeable and very large number of disciples following after him. And even in this life, a person who is not angry, who practices on patience, for that person, everybody come in good relation and nobody really runs away when seeing such person. And if we see that even the hearers and the Patek Buddha disciples, even they whose only aspiration is liberation for oneself only, even when we see that such disciples, they have such a great effort, joyous effort, that their effort is so much that it is like a person whose head is being burned and he's trying to remove the fire out of the head. So such intense effort, if we see with such disciples, the heirs and the Patek Buddhists or the solitary realizers, then what to talk about a great vehicle person who tries to attain the state of Buddhahood, which is with all the qualities. So this is in accordance to the next text line, where it comes with the joyous effort perfection. But actually, there is a text line which says that Yinden Malupindri Jedoshi means all the qualities goes after joyous effort. So joyous effort is the very source and the very cause to get the quality for a person. Whatever quality he has, they are a result of the joyous effort. And as I explained before, we should always look on the laziness as our greatest enemy, and we should look on the joyous effort as our best friend. Deal with the perfection of the concentration. So if one doesn't have a good concentration, then there will never be possibility of good wisdom, which is the main means to uproot the course of the samsara. So that concentration has to be the union of calm, abiding, and special insight. And with regard to how to have that kind of concentration, we will speak afterward. But anyhow, there are different means of attaining concentration. The first one can have concentration on one's mind through the method of Mahamudra, or one can concentrate on one's breath, or one can concentrate on the visualized body of the Buddha, or one can visualize any kind of deity. So with regard to the attainment of the single-pointed concentration, or in another word, calm abiding, for that one has to have a very single object of focus. And if a person is doing the practice of learning, then that is different matter, because the visualization and the subject of meditation has to be shifted to higher and higher. Otherwise, if a person is through the method of Mahamudra concentrating on the mind, then he should remain concentrated on his mind. And if a person is trying to attain calm abiding through concentrating on breath, then he should remain concentrated on the breath. Nowadays, there are so many meditators, and they try to concentrate their attention on the mind. But if they keep their meditation without thinking anything, just nothingness, then that is not the correct way of concentration, and that is not the correct way of how to do the meditation. Actually, if one is keeping concentration on the mind, then one should think that the mind is not just a form or a color. Instead, it is the very nature of clarity and purity. So with that understanding, try to concentrate. Otherwise, just thinking nothing is not the correct way to meditate. So the point of the text where it says, being perfectly gone beyond the four formlessness. So those four states of formlessness are the limitless space, limitless consciousness, nothingness, and the peak of the cyclic existence. So the first, a person meditates that all the virtue and non-virtue are equal like space, and keep that meditation. But still, after a certain level of stage, he comes to feel uneasy, thinking that even with the space-like concentration, because space is with sometimes cloud, sometimes without cloud, still there is impurity. Likewise, he tries to shift his meditation to higher, where he comes to the everything just limitless consciousness, and there still he feels not very comfortable, and he shifts up. But still, with all these four kinds of formless concentration stages, if the person doesn't have the going to the refuge and doesn't have the understanding of law of karma, then they will instead become a cause to be reborn in within the realm of the samsara. And the time when we train on the concentration, perfection of concentration, and the time when we have a very strong single-pointed concentration, but still, if that concentration is without physical and mental pliancy or mental ecstasy, so that kind of the concentration is called the mental concentration with the mind of the desire realm. And whereas if the time when one has the both kind of pliancy, then that is the actual perfect calm abiding. Is that clear? If one has the concentration, single pointed concentration, but still if there's not the mental and physical pliancy, then that remains as the concentration, which is not the actual calm abiding. And whereas the time when one has these both, then that becomes a concentration called the actual calm abiding. This will come later on, so just roughly for time being. So even with attaining of the calm abiding, that is not enough, because we still have to apply that single-pointed calm abiding to understand the real nature of the phenomena. And naturally, in daily life, all the things appear to our sight, they actually are not the real mode or the real way the things exist. So the very existence of the phenomena has to be analyzed with the single-pointed concentrated power of the mind, which is called calm abiding. So with that, if one understands that phenomena lack true inherent existence, then that is called the attaining of the wisdom, understanding the selflessness of the phenomena. So when the calm abiding together with that understanding and also with both the physical and mental bliss, then that is said to be the attaining or acquiring of the special insight. So in this way, we have to next point is to train on the wisdom, because how much ever we may train on the other five perfections, how much ever we train on them, we will never come a time to abandon the wisdom of obscuration. So two kinds of obscuration, afflictive and wisdom of obscuration. So how much ever we train on the five other perfections, there will never be the abandonment of the wisdom of obscuration. So it is now proper at this point, one has to train on wisdom to abandon the wisdom of obscurations. But the point when one comes to the sixth bodhisattva bhumi, at that time, with the training of the perfection of wisdom, one has to firstly abandon the afflictive obscuration, and thereafter, from 8th and 9th onward, the wisdom of obscuration. So because of that, the text says, if one has no wisdom, then the five perfections, they will not be able to attain the complete enlightenment. Therefore, with the means, one has to see the three circles as non-existent, and in this way train on the perfection of the, in this way meditate on wisdom. So this method or means in the text, it should be understood as the great compassion. The three circles not being truly existent, the three circles means the emptiness to be apprehended or emptiness to be understood, and the person who understands the emptiness and the very environment in which it is understood. So whatever the three circles of the emptiness, they also should be understood as not truly existent. For the point where the six perfections training are finished, and then we come to the second heading, which is to make one's mind more firm. So for such, the text starts with if one's mistakes are not examined by oneself, then in the form of a Dharma practitioner, one may still be doing something not dharmic. Therefore, in daily life, one should examine one's mistake, and examine and abandon, and that is the practice of the children of conquerors. So the best adept or wise person is said to be one who examines one's mind stream and who looks at the fault of oneself and trying to remember what one has done wrong in the past life, what one has done wrong in the past years, months, and so forth, and thereby generating a great remorse and generating an attitude that I will not do such things again. So we should not look at others' fault. Instead, we should try to examine ourselves, our mind stream, and find out our faults. And whenever the faults they arise, try to eliminate right the time they arise. So this is the practice of the children of conqueror, or in another word, the bodhisattvas. So this point is similar to the point where the 8th verse thought transformation says, so that point where it says, when oneself and others doing unruly conduct, then at that time try to completely uproot the unruly conduct. So the meaning is similar to the context over that text. No. And if the non-virtuous mind arise, then that will defeat you, that will defeat your morality, that will defeat other sentient beings. So means that will ruin oneself, that will ruin one's morality, that will ruin others. It's the first thing to examine and abandon one's fault, one's mistake. And second is, as the text says, because of afflictions or because of delusions, if somebody tries to speak about the faults of other children of conqueror or other bodhisattvas, then that will decline one's virtue, that will decline one's quality. And actually it is said that one should not speak about others' faults, and those who have taken bodhisattva vow, for them, because it is one of the precepts or the one code of the bodhisattva vow not to speak about others' faults, so it is against the bodhisattva vow. And even with regard to the patimoksha vow, those it is not permitted for such person with patimoksha vow to speak about someone else's violation of the morality. And what our normal attitude is, we try to expose others fall up in the sky, and we try best to conceal our faults. Especially, we should be very careful not to criticize somebody who is the bodhisattva, because it is said, even if a person kills the sentient beings of all the three realms, the negativity will be more if a person speaks foul of a bodhisattva. So it is really, we should be very careful not to criticize and speak foul of a Mahayana person. But the text says not to speak foul of a person who has entered into Mahayana path is the practice of the children of conqueror. And normally it is said a person who speaks about his fault is a wise person, and person who speaks about others' fault is a stupid or fool person. And actually, speaking about others' fault will cause to decline one's positive karma or merit. Because we have taken the bodhisattva vows, therefore we should be really very careful to understand about the subject of not speaking others' fault. Then the next the text says, because of service and offering, the fight and argument happen, and this is, I think, speaking about the Dharma practitioners, because there are so many benefactors and sponsors for them, it is possible for them to feel a bit uneasy and likely to put case against whenever somebody tries to snatch that benefactor, one's benefactor being snatched by others, being taken by others, so that it's very likely, and especially with the institutes and the centers, there may be possible attachment and clinging to personal benefactors and sponsors whenever there is possibility of their sponsor being taken by other beneficiaries, then might feel jealous and so forth. And then the next line says, to abandon the attachment with the family of with the family and house of the benefactor and the friends. So this is it is very possible that we might feel a great attachment to our benefactors and sponsors, and we might try, because of that attachment, try to protect the interests of the benefactor, thereby engaging into non-virtuous actions. So that is not to be attached to one's benefactor and sponsors, and it is very possible for us and even for the center people, when there's a benefactor, try to flatter and be very nice to the benefactor, thereby not being careful of one's being straightforward and honesty in dealing, and especially those who have taken the bodhisattva vow, such kind of being flattering to the benefactor and the sponsor is not permitted. And here I don't know, whereas in Tibet, actually, this kind of feeling is very strong. That person with the benefactor and sponsor, they really try to be so much they try so much to please the benefactor and try to do what he says, and not really caring about their vows and precepts and so forth. It seems to, in the past, Longda Lama Rinpoche, so in the past, Longda Lama Rinpoche, great Lama, when he was invited to a family to do a puja, and at the conclusion of the day's puja in the evening, he was offered a very great offering of the cash and all other different offerings. But at that moment, he showed an outer appearance as if he's very much dissatisfied and never pleased at all. And on another occasion, when he was invited to another family, and there the family was a bit poor, and they couldn't serve very good, delicious food, and at the conclusion, they didn't offer him anything, but still he showed at the end very satisfied and very pleasing appearance. So it seemed at that moment, Longda Lama Rinpoche was practicing on this kind of instruction. The line in the text, to abandon attachment to the family or to the house of the benefactor and to the house of the friend, is the practice of the children of conqueror. In the next line, the text says, harsh word shakes the mind of others, and it will decline the conduct of the children of conqueror. Therefore, to abandon the harsh word which are not delightful others is the practice of the children of conqueror. So generally, those who have taken the vow of bodhisattva, they should naturally be very sweet speaking to others, and actually the harsh word, they are like an arrow piercing into the right depth of the hurt of other person, and it is actually one of the worst means of harming others. Because of this, I think Geshe Chenko, he said, by abandoning the poisonous arrow of the harsh word, I will defeat my inner hatred. So for those who are acting according to Bodhisattva's conduct, it is important to act likewise. And not only that, as the text says, it will decline the conduct of Bodhisattva. And from mouth one says, I am a children of the conqueror. In another word, I am Bodhisattva. But in conduct, one does such unruly things like harsh speech, which harms others. So because of these two reasons, it is the practice of the Bodhisattva to abandon harsh, rude, which are not delightful to others. Then it comes to the next line. If we familiarize with the delusions or afflictions, if we familiarize with the afflictions, then it is a bit difficult to divert them by antidote. And this actually, at this point, it is very important that regularly in our daily life we should apply carefulness and introspection, and we should judge our very conduct of body, speech, and mind by these two, introspection and carefulness, and they should be like the policeman, not allowing the criminal to pass away. So if we let loose under the control of the afflictions or delusions, then it will be very difficult to divert and uproot them. Therefore, we should apply those two things. So, because from time beginning last we have been familiarizing with the delusions, it is very difficult for us to remove them. So it is important that we should apply those two things, introspection and carefulness, or in another word, mindfulness. They explained, if we let the delusions arise, then that will ruin ourselves, our morality, and others. Therefore, the text continues to say, the attachment, etc., delusion, right instantly they are arising. To defeat them, to eliminate them, is the practice of the children of conqueror. And then it says, in short, whatever activities we do, whatever state of our mind is, daily applying the mindfulness and introspection, and thereby accomplishing the welfare of others, is the practice of the children of conqueror. So whatever, either we are sleeping, either we are going, either we are eating, we should look upon our state of mind and try to apply mindfulness and introspection. So that is, in short, the practice of the children of conqueror or bodhisattvas. So thereafter is the dedication. So the text, it says, therefore, whatever merit accumulated or whatever merit accomplished by effort in order to remove the suffering of the extremeless or infinite transmigrators, dedicating it for the sake of enlightenment, dedicating it for the purpose of enlightenment by the wisdom perfectly pure of the three circles, is the practice of the children of conqueror. And actually, there wasn't any commentary at all. In short, we have to dedicate with understanding the three circles of the dedication being not truly existent. And next is telling the purpose of having composed this text. So the text says, the meaning of the meaning explained in the sutras, tantras, and shastras by following the instructions of the wise, for those who want to train on the practice of for those who want to train on the path of the children of conqueror, I arrange these 37 practices of the children of conqueror. So this is saying that the author, he has not composed this text by his own invention or by his own self-style. Actually, he has based his material on all the sources of sutra, tantra, and shastras. And the remaining one is purpose for which he has composed it. And then is the releasing of the pride of the author. He releases his pride, saying that actually I am of very inferior intelligence and I have a very little learning, but still, and I have not a very good skill of composition which pleases the wise man, but still, because I have based my material on the sutra and the instructions of the wise, therefore it should be understood as being not mistaken. And then next is requesting to excuse for any mistake which has crept into it, saying a person like me who is of very inferior intelligence and such a subject which is very profound to understand, and whatever I have written, if it is contradictory and if it is mistaken, then the wise person, please be patient. Then is the dedication of the author having composed this text, whatever merit he has gained. So saying the merit gained from this for the sake of all the transmigrators to attain the bodhicitta, conventional bodhicitta, which doesn't abide on the extreme of the existence and peace. So extreme of the existence here refers to the samsara, and extreme of the peace refers to liberation. So being not attached to these two, and may all sentient beings attain the state of the protector generation. So this is saying the extreme of the existence refers to samsara being eliminated by the wisdom understanding the emptiness, and extreme of the peace refers to the liberation which is eliminated because of the patience, in the sense that because of great compassion, our Lokiteshvara or Chandresi doesn't stay in liberation, in the peace of liberation. So may all be equal like him. So that is the dedication of composing the text. These 37 practices of the Bodhisattva, they are so vast, so deep, or so profound, and actually it is very difficult to explain about these practices exactly as they are done in actual practice, but still, because of your request, I have explained on it, I have explained not just to leave something empty. Expression meaning accepted to do something, at least do something, keep going. So actually, in short, this whole text includes the whole path, right from the practice of the small person, intermediate, and great person. So the 37 practices teaching, as you requested, I have explained about it, and if the teaching had not been really very good, then I make confession and request for patience from the object of refuge. And if something beneficial has happened, then we all together, as the text says, have to dedicate the merit. What? No. Mm-hmm. But there are the texts which are not the teachings of the Buddha, but the teachings of some supreme person. They are the works of the Indian masters. So the texts which are the teachings of the Buddha, they are the vacha, or the what we call in English the sutras, and they also are the shastras. Whereas the texts written by some other person other than the Buddha, they are only the shastras and they are not the sutras. Questions will not end with this subject. Just in a very brief presentations. So, the teachings have been like a car going on a mountain path, sometimes about to fall down the precipice, sometimes going straight, sometimes about to fall down. Please don't feel uneasy because of the teaching not being so detailed and elaborate. Why I have done in a very brief way and quick is because there is still the teaching of the Lamrim, and the two things are not totally different. It's a competition between the 37 practice teaching and Lamrim teaching. The 37 one won the race from in future because there are no people engaged in construction work like Gary and Colin, because they are not. So maybe on Thursday evenings we will have Lamrim teaching. How does that fit? Will that be all right, or you are still thinking to have some other teaching? I think it would probably be all right for those we don't have Lamrim during the evenings, during this Thursday evening. No. Oh, good. Yeah.